again. Sorry if you hear any background noises. I live in a house with other people. So today we are here to talk about the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons, last year, they were the worst team in the league. They absolutely tanked. Had a 17-65 record, 15th in the East. It seems obvious that everybody was tanking for Wemby, but they didn't get Wemby. They got the 5th pick, and they still got a Shai Thompson, who's a great player, but I mean, you would have wanted Wemby. I mean, I'll be honest, you would have wanted Wemby. But then again, when I look at this team, you already have Jalen Duren at that position. You don't really need another center. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'll start just looking at the depth chart. I'm not going to get into the positions and draft picks and all that yet. Let me just start looking at the depth chart. We have Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Bojan Bogdanovic, my bad, Isaiah Stewart, and Jalen Duren. That's their starting lineup, or presumed starting lineup. They might start Ashar over Bojan, but we don't know yet. But then off the bench, they have Monte Morris, Alec Burks, Shai Thompson, Marvin Bagley, and James Wiseman. And then you got Killian Hayes, Marcus Sasser, Joe Harris, Isaiah Livers, and some other guy whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce. Honestly, this team they have a really good, the more and more I think about it, this team has a really good core. Because you look at Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham last year only played like 10 games. So last year, they were a 17-win team without Cade Cunningham. And Cade Cunningham brings a lot to this team. He was the first pick in the NBA in the 2021 draft. He was the first pick for a reason. He's actually like that. He also got injured in his rookie year, which is a good reason why he didn't win Rookie of the Year that year. But I don't know if this team is going to be, because if you look at the rest of the team, there's Jaden Ivey. And Jaden Ivey had a good rookie season. I just don't want to put any pressure on him to carry any what he had last year into this season. You have Bojan Bogdanovic, who's, I don't even know if they're going to play him. I don't know what's going to happen with him. He's kind of a little older, especially compared to the rest of this team. This is an extremely young team. So Bojan is on the older side. He's kind of like a mentor, I guess you could say, to these younger players. And then you have the big men. I actually want to talk about a bit about this big man core because they have a lot of big men there, man. They got Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren, Marvin Bagley, James Wiseman, and then Isaiah Livers is also here, but he's not one of the more important ones. So, really, when I look at this team with their big men, Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren are the two guys who were drafted in Detroit, and Detroit brought up kind of, and now they're pretty decent young players for Detroit who were drafted there. The other two, Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman, are two players whose teams gave up on them and traded them away, and the Pistons now have them. And it is, because it's an interesting situation here where you have some starting bigs who are young, and you have some backup. I don't know who they're going to start and back up, honestly, though. Because they could start Isaiah Stewart, they could start Jalen Duren, they could start Marvin Bagley, they could start James Wiseman. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they're really going to start Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, or maybe Marvin Bagley at the 4. One of those two at the 4. But they just have this little big man core, and each one of them has a good amount of potential to be a pretty good player. I mean, I don't think any of these guys have all-star potential. Maybe like Jalen Duren, if he has one really good year, sure, maybe an all-star, but none of these guys have perennial all-star potential, like multiple-time all-star potential. So, I mean, they still have good potential, though. They could still become really good players for this team, and especially Jalen Duren, he's not a guy who I watched a lot of last year, kind of similar to Mark Williams and that Hornets team, and also some other guys in the Spurs. Like, the bad teams last year, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch a lot of. I mean, I did see a bit of Pistons basketball, because sometimes they would be the only team on, and I would be like, you know what, why not? I did watch a bit of, what did I see from Pistons? I saw a bit of Isaiah Stewart. I saw a bit of Killian Hayes. I saw a bit of those players hooping a bit, but I didn't see much, to be honest. Cade Cunningham was out most of the year, so really not many people were interested in this team. And it makes sense, because when you look at the rest of the team, I mean, they have lots of young talent, but they're not a good team. So it makes sense why people weren't really watching and paying attention to them as much as they were paying attention to the other teams that were a lot better. So, but I'm really interested in this big man core. Let me go back to that, because I kind of strayed off from the topic. Because I want to see how good each of these players can be. Each of these players, like I said, has a good amount of potential. But it really, because you can't have all four of these guys be your main focus. Because you're not going to have all four guys averaging 15 plus points a game. You're going to have to prioritize some players over the others. And like I said, Jalen Duren, I think, should be the priority. But then again, you look at these other guys. Marvin Bagley, he was drafted, what, 5-6 years ago now? And he was a top 5 pick, and not going to this probably his fifth or sixth year. You're wondering, is it time to give up on him? Is he just gonna be a bust? Because I remember when he was drafted, coming out of Duke, he was looking like a really good player who could do it all at the power forward position. But, or not really do it all, but he could do a lot at the power forward position. He was a great scorer. He was a good player. But now, people looking back, he's just like, not much. And I always liked Marvin Bagley, but he hasn't really done much to prove that he deserves to be the focus of your young core, especially because he's the oldest out of this group of big men. I don't think they're going to give him the most opportunity compared to the rest of the big men on this team. You look at James Wiseman, he was even higher pick. He was the second pick, because Marvin Bagley was, if I remember correctly, or was Marvin Bagley the second pick? He was the second pick. I didn't know that. I did not know that. That is crazy. This team has tons of like top 2 picks, because then you also have top 5 picks, I should say, because you have James Wiseman, Marvin Bagley, Ashard Thompson, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey was the 4th pick, right? Cade, Jaden Ivey, Ashard Thompson, Marvin Bagley, James Wiseman, all top 5 picks. And then if you add lottery picks, was Isaiah Stewart a lottery pick? Can't remember, but I'm pretty sure he was. I'm pretty sure Alec Burks was a lottery pick. I might be wrong, though. I know that Killian Hayes was the 7th pick. And yeah, you have a lot of lottery picks on this team, man. But the thing with a lot of these picks is their potential. They have tons of potential, and they had tons of potential, but a lot of them didn't really execute on that potential. I'm not gonna lie. Like James Wiseman, he was drafted to the Warriors, and right off the bat, I wanted the Warriors to trade the pick, but they ended up using it, and I mean, okay, but they already had Curry, and Curry is a top 3 player in the league for the past who knows how many years. So it's not the best idea to draft young talent when you have Steph Curry as your main focus. He drafted James Wiseman, and it did actually fill a need, because their big depth has always been a bit of a problem. Like, they've always had the point guard, shooting guard, small forward, and power forward positions down with Curry, Clay, Draymond, and then either Wiggins or KD or Iggy or whoever it is. But the center position has been a bit iffy, with guys like Andrew Bogut, Festus Ezeli, and Kevon Looney shifting in and out of the rotation. And those guys aren't horrible, but there's definitely better options, more reliable options you could have at the center position. Especially when Kevon Looney's probably the best out of those 3 that I named. At least when he was on the Warriors, because Andrew Bogut might have been better when he was on the other team. Maybe, I don't know. But Kevon Looney is 6'7" or 6'9". He's not that tall for his position. So he doesn't bring the size needed to play the center position that the Warriors could have used in some of the past runs they've had, where they've had to deal with bigger guys like Anthony Davis. So when you think about it that way, James Wiseman was the right pick. But then James Wiseman, they didn't really give him the opportunity. He got injured, I think. He missed a lot of time, or was it an injury? I just know that he missed a lot of time, and he didn't play a lot. And when he came back, he did or did they trade him before the championship? I can't remember if he was there for the championship. But they eventually got rid of him, and now he's in Detroit, and he has a new opportunity, which is great for him because now he actually has a spot where he can grow. But then again, I question if he really can grow because of the amount of big men here. Because Jalen Duren is definitely getting those top starting center minutes, or at least he definitely should get those starting center minutes. So I don't know what's gonna happen with these two. They're both second picks, which is crazy. The second pick in the past few years has been ridiculous because you have in 2015. I'm going all the way back. In 2015, it was D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, I remember it was D'Angelo Russell. 2016, you have even 2014. I'm not gonna go back that far though. 2015, D'Angelo Russell. Not bad, but not amazing. But he's a pretty good player when it comes to that draft class specifically. 2016, you have Brandon Ingram, who's actually a bright spot. 2017, Lonzo. Good when he's healthy, but he's not healthy that often. 2018, Marvin Bagley. And 2019, John Morant, who's actually good. Probably the best of the second picks in the past 10 years. 2020, you have James Wiseman. 2021, Jalen Green, and we're still going to see what happens with that, but it's not looking amazing right now. 2022, that was Chet, and Chet did not play his first year, but hopefully he comes back and he's great. Hopefully. And then 2023, Brandon Miller. We've yet to see what happens with him. I think he's going to be good, but we still don't know. But the second round pick has been a bit iffy over the past 10 or so years, which is very interesting. But back to my main point. Jalen Duren's definitely going to get a lot of minutes, and Isaiah Stewart, I don't know about him, but he's probably going to get a decent amount of the minutes in this upcoming season. So I don't know where Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman will fit in the center, in the big man minutes in general. But hopefully they get the opportunity they deserve, just to at least try to get like a career resurgence, because I want to see these guys succeed at the end of the day. I want to see all these guys succeed. And then there's the other position. Jaden Ivey is one guy, because this team has tons of young talent, so I'm going to go through all of it. Jaden Ivey, no, actually, before I get to Jaden Ivey, let me get to the main guy you want to hear about, Cade Cunningham. He was injured all of last year, and the main reason I have the Detroit Pistons where I have them is because Cade Cunningham was injured all of last year. So I don't know how good exactly he'll be coming from injury. And there was an off-season workout that came out of Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren hooping in a pickup game or something like that, and they were both on the same team and they were cooking. And then a lot of people were like, "Ooh, Cade's gonna come back this year and he's gonna be hooping." But I have to remind myself never to believe these off-season workouts, because you can see off-season videos of Ben Simmons hitting threes back to back to back, and then in the season he's not putting those up. So that's why I can't believe in the off-season hype too much. So I don't know how good Cade Cunningham is gonna be. So my safest bet is just to put them low, especially because when you look at how this team is built, I mean, honestly, it's not bad. You got Monte Morris as a backup point guard, which is actually a really good signing, especially when you think about if this team's trying to be like a solid playing team with Cade Cunningham leading them, which is, I think, an actual decent possibility. Like, that's their ceiling. I really should have put floors and ceilings for these teams. But if I had to put a ceiling for the Pistons, it would definitely be like a solid 11-10 seed. Yeah, I'd still say like a 10 seed. That's their ceiling. That's the Pistons' ceiling in my eyes. Because when you look at the other teams here, they definitely could surprise a bunch of people if Cade Cunningham is good. Jaden Ivey is good. If Ashar Thompson, I think he's going to be good. So if he's good, especially because, let me shift over to Ashar Thompson now. I didn't talk much about Cade, but Ashar Thompson, I really love this pick for the Pistons, especially because he's the type of guy who doesn't need the ball in his hands. You could put him on a team and he can contribute immediately. I mean, having the ball in his hands, he's good. He's a good playmaker, good scorer. And even without the ball in his hands, I mean, this isn't on the offensive end, but on the defensive end, he's really good. He's good against steals, getting blocks. He's pretty athletic, just like his brother. Both of them are really athletic. So Ashar Thompson makes a pretty good impact on this team. And I like the fit with him, Cade, Jaden Ivey, because Cade and Jaden Ivey are two guards that will have the ball in their hands a good amount of the time. And Ashar Thompson doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective. So I really like the fit here with those three. So that's why low-key I would like it if they started him. But they're probably going to start Bojan to start the season. At least to start the season. Ashar might be able to start later on, but you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it sucks about ranking these teams. The thing that sucks about ranking these teams is the more I talk about each team, the more I convince myself they should be higher. But I know deep down, when I get to the other teams, I'll be like, damn, that team is good. But the only reason I can see myself putting this team higher is because the two teams above this team right here are teams that have high ceilings and low floors. And if those teams have really low floors, the Pistons could jump up and be above those teams, maybe be 11-10 seed. But right now, the way it is, my safest bet is to put the Pistons as a 14 seed. My projected record for them is 24-58, being 14 seed in the East. And I know it seems extremely low, especially with Cade Cunningham there. But when I look at all the other teams here, I'm just like, it's not, this team compared to everybody else doesn't have, I think, the tools to compete with them. Because they do, actually no, that's not true. They definitely have the tools to compete with them, but I think the inexperience will definitely kick in at some point in the season. Like, they could have a really good start, be like a top 10 seed maybe, but eventually the inexperience is going to kick in. When you have Cade Cunningham, who is injury prone, you have Jaden Ivey, who is inexperienced, and especially you can't expect anything from second year guards, so you never know what's going to happen with them. Ashar Thompson, inexperienced. Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman, who are really wild cards because they're busts, but not really busts because they're still young. So you don't know whether they're going to be actually good for once, or if they're just not going to do anything like they've been doing for the past few years. No disrespect, but for second round picks, they haven't been great, to be honest. They haven't been great. And just the unreliability of this team is the only reason I have them this low. They have the tools, but they don't have the surefire thing that other teams have. Cade Cunningham can definitely be, one of the things I have here is Cade Cunningham, Cade All-Star with a question mark. Cade could definitely be an all-star player if he actually plays well enough, and if some other guys get injured, you never know, Cade could be an all-star. But I still don't see this team being good enough to make a play-in run yet. Next year, we can start talking. Jaden Ivey might have a better year, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren. We'll see what happens with the 2 second-round picks off the bench. And now Ashar Thompson, you never know. But right now, they're still not a good team. And I'm reaching 20 minutes in this clip, but before I end this video, I want to talk about one player specifically who I've been watching for the past, how long has it been? Since when did he get drafted? He had to be drafted 2021, right? I don't know, so I'm gonna check which year. No, 2020. 2020. This Killian Hayes, the 7th pick in the 2020 NBA draft. Killian Hayes has done absolutely nothing. He's been bad. Really, really bad. And is it a point to give up? Is it the time to give up on Killian Hayes? That's one thing I have in my notes here, because I wrote notes and I kind of subtly go through them without mentioning them throughout the whole video. So Killian Hayes, this is one thing I will mention though. Is it time to give up on Hayes? That's one of my notes. Because Killian Hayes was the 7th pick in the 2020 draft. And let me just name some of the people. Let me name some of the people he was picked ahead of. Obi Toppin, Denny Avdia, Jalen Smith, Devin Vassell, Tyrese Halliburton, Kyrillus Jr., Aaron Nesmith, Cole Anthony, his teammate Isaiah Stewart. So Isaiah Stewart wasn't the lottery pick, but Josh Green, Sadiq Bey, Precious Achua, Tyrese Maxey, Zeke Naji, RJ Hampton, Emmanuel Quigley. The list goes on. Desmond Bain. Oh my goodness. Jaden McDaniels. This draft class is actually a lot better than I thought it was. But yeah, I don't know about Killian Hayes, man, because he came out of France, I'm pretty sure. And coming into when he was drafted, I was kind of questionable about him from the start because I was like, Killian Hayes, I mean, okay, he looks okay, but I don't know about this guy. And now he's been given the chances over the past few years as a backup. And I think he might even started sometimes because maybe when Cade was injured, he got the starting spot. But I don't know for sure. I was watching the Pistons. But I kind of just like, he's had an opportunity, a decent amount of opportunity over the past few years. And now that you have Cade coming out, you have Jaden Ivey, you have Rashard Thompson, who you have Monte Morris. Is it time to give up on Killian Hayes? Is it time to just let him just stop trying to, I don't know. I can't find the words. Is it time to give up? That's the best way I can explain it. Because you always want to give these guys second chances, but Killian Hayes isn't good. So I'm thinking, if I'm the Pistons, to be honest, I would trade Killian Hayes to a place where he could get some a decent amount of PT. Like a team, for example, the Spurs. Because they could use some. Let me look at the Spurs depth chart. This video isn't about the Spurs. But if I wanted to, I would not mind trading Killian Hayes to the Spurs. I mean, they have Cameron Payne and Devontae Graham, but this is a rebuilding team. They're definitely going to play Killian Hayes more than they play Devontae Graham. And honestly, I would trade for Devontae Graham if I'm the Pistons. Killian Hayes for Devontae Graham, easily. And then Killian Hayes is French. Vic's French. They got that French connection now. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I am with Killian Hayes right now. I don't think he's gonna be good. I think if he really was gonna do anything, flip him to another team where he could actually get the opportunity to play, and maybe he'll actually play well. But I don't know. I think it's the time. He's not. If he plays good anywhere, I don't think it's going to be in Detroit. But that's just my thoughts. So that's about it. That's all I have to say. This is a 25-minute video. This is the longest one I've recorded so far. This is one of the worst teams in the NBA. So that says something about these upcoming videos y'all about to get. If y'all get 20-minute videos, be ready. Because I'm not gonna just glaze. It's crazy. I'm not just gonna subtly talk about each team. I'm gonna give my thoughts about every single team that I talk about. So be ready for those videos coming out, man. My voice cracked, but who cares? Be ready for those videos coming out. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment down below any tips, tricks, or topics you have me to talk about on this channel. That'll be it for me today. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.